Howdy folks, Laxo here. And today we're going to be taking a look and checking out Kira. The last time I went over him, which was when he came out about a year ago, didn't really have the best footage or videos on him because I was on vacation at the time. So I went ahead and took a look at some people that are running him, and unfortunately I couldn't really find too many people that actually run him. Which is weird because he's a pretty solid character. So we're going to go ahead and go over him this video. I'm going to go ahead and go over maybe a team or two that I like to run with him. Maybe check out his skills and just go over and generalize where he is good and how you should run him. So let's go ahead and start by checking out some WarSouls here, and then in a minute we'll get down to some teams. So there's a couple different ways you can run him. You can run him as a tanky support, or you can run him as DPS. I don't really like to run him as a DPS character. You know, you could toss on like Wrath, get a little bit extra crit chance, a little bit extra damage. Actually, here, let's go like this. Just remove all the WarSouls from him and take a look at his stats, so you guys can get a look at. So he has pretty good damage reduction. He has pretty good block chance, because I mean this is again just based off of Vermilion Bird and skill specialty. As far as crit chance, he has decent crit chance, you know, decent damage rate. He's pretty mid-tier, like as far as all the stats go, because he's skill specialty. So you can run him either way. You can run him as a damage unit, or you can run him as a tanky unit. I personally prefer to run him as a little bit back row support tanky unit. Why? Let's go ahead and take a look at these skills here. So, first of all, you'll notice this is with his weapon. Of course, if you run him, you want to have his weapon, because his weapon is very, very important for his build. He gets 100% chance of soaking the entire enemy team, which reduces their healing by 60, crit chance by 20. And of course, after being critically hit, incoming crit damage is increased by 60%. So that's, I believe that is for the party, or anybody that hits those targets. So this should be a party-wide buff, or debuff, I should say. So, him being alive is worth more to you than him being a little bit more DPS. So, with that being said, what I like to do is I like to toss a couple tanky WarSouls on him. You know, you can run anything. You can run WarSoul of Armor. You can run the Courage. You can run a couple of different WarSouls here, or Vigilance. Vigilance is also pretty good as well. But me, specifically, I like to run Armor. He's not going to have the most health. However, he will have a really good damage reduction and a really good block chance. So with that, you usually want to follow up with a more tanky WarSoul, which in my opinion, he could use some healing, because he is not exactly the tankiest unit, but if you keep him alive and he keeps on going on to later in the battle, it's a very, very good chance that he will just completely nullify all the healing on the enemy team and really, really come in handy the longer he's in there for. Especially when he gets the soaked buff on the entire enemy team and you get the really big crit chances, or crit attacks off. So, with those WarSouls on him, I got him up to block chance 72%, 72.5, and damage reduction rate of 76.57. Now, I think I have him... Yeah, I have him on my team, so he does have a little bit of inflated numbers, but I also don't have his gear very high at all. I think last year, when I was doing all the videos on him, I was running him pretty much strictly as DPS. But the more and more I've used him, which has been over a year now at this point, I've really, really come into liking him as a back row support. So, with that being said, let's go ahead and check out a couple different teams we can run him in. So let this be noted here that I don't like to run the most overpowered teams in Arena. I usually handicap myself. I usually tell myself, okay, no big damage dealers, no big healers, and nobody that's super broken character, like Nemu, for example, or anybody like that. I try and keep it to very basic, units, just to have fun with my teams and give everyone else a chance. So this is what I have been running here in Arena. It's actually working out pretty well. You get a little bit of rage reduction, and then usually round 2 is when I get to rage. So Byakuya rages, you get the anti-heal on the enemy team. Heineko rages as well. You get the anti-heal on the front row, and then by that time, all healing is shut down for the front row. You get a little bit of CC with Sodeno, and then of course, Kira. Actually, you could either run them like this or like this. I like to run them like this, just because the extra healing reduction with Kira. So you get the crit, and then you get the actual extra crit damage. Once again, I don't have any big damage dealing units. You could probably replace Rangiku with any unit that has some good crit AoE. You can, toss Byakuya in there. You can toss several different characters in here, preferably characters that attack the entire enemy team, and they do wonderful in this lineup. Once again, I'm trying to handicap myself. So, yeah, you can run him in a variety of different ways. You don't even have to have Byakuya in there. You could just have him as a lone heal reduction on your team, and he will still work wonders. You will notice that the enemy team, when, I don't know, like Orihime does a massive heal, it usually heals the entire team for full. It only heals them from, 25 to 50%. It doesn't heal them to full. And that helps out so much the later the game goes on. Also, I must say that these anti-heal team comps here, like this for example, it completely negates any healer. I'm talking right here, Nell makes her utterly useless. You get all these percentage damage procs off and extra damage procs off right here that it completely shuts them down, completely shuts their kit down. Damage reduction no longer matters when you're doing percentage damage. And healing no longer matters when they heal for 0. So all these big units here, once again, Nemu, Orihime, all these characters that heal no longer mean anything. The only thing that will help you out is shield. And once again, for shields, you usually want to walk over here to Unohana, and she will get you some shields. But let's go ahead and take a look at battle. Alright, hopefully the audio doesn't give me too much of an issue here. So as you can see, a team like this starts off with a little bit of CC, a little bit of rage reduction, so it really hurts the enemy team. And again, you can use big crit dealing characters on your team. With Kira, for example, you can run the Byakuya, Anniversary Byakuya. You can run Tensa Zangetsu. You can run any of these big crit units, and they will help you out. You could even run crazy strong units like Christmas Aizen. He will just one-shot the enemy team. Not necessarily needed. A little bit of overkill, but still gets the job done. And they will still perform wonderfully with Kira as well. Unfortunately, I don't think he's going to rage this round, but you can see what is going on here. This will be a lot of damage here. 2.1 million. No crits. Next round we should probably see some crits because we're gonna get both Kira and Nini to go off, so we're gonna get some pretty good crit here, I think. Let's just pass the next round. All right, unfortunately, Kira is not going to get to rage, which is the entire reason why we're watching this. But nonetheless, that's that, I guess. So, let's go ahead and see if we can run another battle. Alright, this replay may be a little better. I apologize for that last one. But, so here we are. Going for a little bit of CC to start, a little bit of rage control. I don't think his... Oh, his team is different, actually. There is a Unohana in here, and Unohana is actually a direct counter to anti-heal teams because she gives huge barriers for the team. So, also he is going really heavy on the rage reduction as well. As you can see, he has what, 1, 2, 3, 4 rage reduction units on his team. Alright, so at this point we have I believe 40% heal reduction on his team, and now we have 100% on the front row. We've overcapped 100% on the front row, and we have 100% on the back row, as well as crit reduction and percentage damage to his entire team. So at this point, the damage has been done. He can kill most of my units, and the damage has already been done to his team. He can reduce rage as much as he wants, but unfortunately, it's pretty much over at this point. We can skip pretty much past here. As you can see, he got 0 healing from that, and I also killed a unit all the way through his Nemu. His Nemu did not get that proc, that res proc, because he has 0 healing. So it heals, it consumes that proc, and then poof, the character's dead. It literally double kills the character outright. And not just that, but if he were to have Orihime or any other healer on his team, it would immediately consume all the healing procs. Like if Orihime was out there, somebody dropped below 50%, it would use a healing proc on Orihime, you know, one of her snowmen. It would attempt to heal the unit, it wouldn't be able to heal the unit, and then it would use another healing proc immediately, and it wouldn't heal the unit. So all of her snowmen are gone instantly. That is the reason why I really like heal reduction teams, and that is the reason why he is so strong, because he just shuts down healing teams in general. So, yeah, that's the reason why I like him. He's really, really strong. I mean, the crit reduction is a bonus. The bonus crit damage is also a bonus as well. I really just like him for the anti-heal. He really does help out a lot, because that is pretty much all teams are nowadays. As you can see, he's using what, 1, 2, 3. He was using 3 healers on his team. Like, what am I supposed to do against 3 healers? You know, the only thing that you can do is just shut down teams. But yeah, that is pretty much everything I wanted to show you on there. And I'll tell you what, we'll go ahead and try and get a team together that I run him as damage. I don't usually run him to damage, but we're going to see what we can do here. One thing that kind of really nerfs this using him as a damage unit, one thing that really hurts him, is the fact that we have this WarSoul. Let's see here. Increases crit resist chance of all allies by 6.25%. I think we also have one more here. Is it this one? Yeah. Increased crit resist chance of all allies by 6.25%. So that is something that really, really hurts and holds back these units with crit chance. I have noticed lately that my Dangai Ichigo is no longer getting guaranteed double crits whenever he attacks. Let's see here. Let's go ahead and swap. That WarSoul shouldn't even be on Vasta Lorde, to be honest. Might have been a 6v6 where I might have been testing him a little bit. Alright, let's test out WarSouls here. I think I want to try this one. Increases accuracy of all allies. I think I'm going to use this. Lowers the crit resist chance. I'm going to go with that. And we're going to run him as a damage unit. See how that goes. Alright, so I went ahead and swapped up the team a little bit. I went ahead and tossed in Byakuya just to get some really good crits and some damage off. I went ahead and swapped out a couple other characters. That did 4.9 million. Just so we can keep a steady number on our head for after Kira rages, we get the debuff off on the enemy team, and then Byakuya will rage again. And we can take a look at how much this damage actually does increase here. So, as you can see, once again, we swapped out a couple units. I went ahead and put in a little bit of extra rage here with Ichigo. I went ahead and ran Sodeno Soul Hall. I have this Ichigo in here just to get the cleanse off on the back row, and then just to add some crit chance, I went ahead, crit chance and crit resist chance, reducing the crit resist chance of the enemy team. I have both Kira and Nina in there as well. Alright, so alright, looks like we're gonna get crit resist down. Nini here is gonna get crit chance up on our team and crit resist down as well. Remember, 4.9 mil was the number we're looking at here. One block, 8.7 mil, and there were a whole lot more crits out there as well. So, it did increase his damage by a bit. There were a few more crits out there. But overall, you know, I'm not really seeing too much of a damage increase in all of his numbers here. Let's move on here and check something else out. So I just took a look here, and I noticed that I did not put Byakuya right here in my front row. So he didn't get the most damage out of his kit. But let's go ahead and take a look here. So we're looking at... what is this? Reduces incoming crit damage is increased by 60%. So, this is all nice and everything, but I think what really seals the deal, and the reason why I think that Kira just performs so much better as a support pretty much lies right here in his passive. So, let's take a look here. Has increased crit chance. Okay. When being attacked, if the enemy is soaked, Kira takes 50% reduced damage. Okay, so 50% damage reduction. That's always nice. Also, that's only when they're soaked. That's the reason why you need his weapon, because he soaks the entire enemy team. When Kira's on the battlefield, every time an enemy deals damage greater than 10% of a soaked enemy's max HP, Summertime Kira receives 50 rage and can recover up to 300 rage in a single round. So, if we use a unit like Byakuya here, let's go ahead and take a look at Byakuya. Toss on a Byakuya, for example. Here we have his rage attack reduces healing received by 60%. I think I said 40 earlier. I apologize. I meant 60. Cause the target to take damage equal to 5% of Byakuya's max HP. So they receive immediately 5% of Byakuya's max HP. Now, granted, Byakuya's max HP is going to be more than most all the max HP on the enemy team. Why? Because Byakuya has the highest stats in the game. The highest stats in the game. I believe that is correct. So, they're immediately going to take 5% of his max HP. As you can see, nobody really comes close to Byakuya's max HP. He's sitting at about 3. And what do we got here? 2.7. That's pretty close. 2.5 there, 2.0, 2.3, 2.2. So nobody really comes close to Byakuya's max HP. So they take immediate 5% on that. And then we can also toss on a unit like Rukia. Now, let's go ahead and take a look at her. Alright, so her passive. Anniversary Rukia has increased damage reduction rate when dealing damage to an enemy with debuffs, which will be pretty much always if you're running that team comp, because they're either going to be soaked, they're going to have healing reduction, bloods, they're going to have something on them that reduces, or that gives them a debuff, whether it's bleed or anything like that. They're going to have debuffs on them. So they're immediately going to take extra damage equal to 20% of that character's attack. So we have 5% immediate HP of Byakuya's, which is going to probably be more than 10% of their health. And then we have that, and we're using another character like, where is she at? Like Hinako. Let's take a look at her. Alright, so here we are with Hinako. Basic attacks and mastery skills deal additional damage equal to 8% of the target's max HP, not to exceed 160% of the attacking character's attack. So we have 3 procs on them after every attack. We have the 5%. We have the 5% of Byakuya's max HP is damage to them. We have the 20% of attack of that character's damage goes to their HP. And we have the basic skills, master skills, 8% of the target's max HP, not to exceed, of course, 160% of the character's attack. So we have 3 procs of damage going off against every single target. At that point, whether it's crit or not doesn't really matter, because you're just bleeding them. Not the bleed, but you're bleeding them every time they get attacked for just chunks of their HP, and they get no HP back. So honestly, that alone, even on my free-to-play account, I actually picked up Kira, and I am running him on a very similar team comp, and I don't really lose too often, because the heal reduction mixed with just chunks of their HP getting ripped off every time is enough to constantly refresh Kira's rage, because if you remember correctly, over here, he gets his rage back, 300 rage. 300 rage every round, which you're going to be getting back, because each time you attack, you're doing more than 10% of their max HP. So Kira's pretty much guaranteed 300 rage, plus his rage he gets from his auto attack, plus any other rage increase characters you have out there. So you can really get just the ball rolling with Kira on your team. He will just completely shut down healing, and reducing crit chance is nice as well as the bonus crit as well. So you could fit him into a couple different teams, and he will just, help contribute to shutting the entire team down. But that is pretty much all I got to say about him at this moment. Tell you guys what, next video, I do plan on getting him to 7-star. I was probably going to do it this video, but I'll do it next video. I should have more than enough shards to get him to 7-star with my Omnis as well. Where are those at? Should be at the top. With my Omnis as well. So we're gonna do that next video. And I'll tell you what, next video we can also take a look at a couple of WarSouls as well. 795, there it is. We could take a look at a couple of WarSouls as well. Wow, 447, I should probably use those. So, check out next video, probably in I'll say 2 days. Probably in 2 days, I'll get that one out. And, give you my final thoughts on the event and everything. I'll even go over some WarSouls, because I had a question asked about event WarSouls. So we're going to go ahead and take a look at these event WarSouls as well. But guys, that's going to do it. Hope you enjoyed this content. If you did, hit that like button, hit the subscribe button. I appreciate it. If you want to join my Discord, hang out there, feel free to do so. Link in the description. I'll catch y'all on the next one. Peace.